Hello again, Wired fam. What's going on, everybody? Good evening, good evening. Let's see, who all do we have on this evening? Got Sid Lewis. What's going on, Sid? Got Jamie Nelson. Hello, hello. Matthew Kofelt. Solomon Ott. What's going on? Crappie Kev. Josh Sanders. Hello, hello. Todd Pell. What's going on? Guys, if y'all don't mind, drop me hello when y'all get on. I always like saying hello to you guys when you get on here with me. Hope everybody's doing well this evening. We got some good things we're going to talk about tonight. We got, first of all, we've got the Crappie Academy, which we had at Crappie Cove this last weekend. That was Sunday. Crappie Academy was really good. It was a success. We did Fish Finders 101. We went over everything that was 2D sonar, down imaging, side imaging, and so on and so forth. It was a really good class. I had a good time teaching it, and I think everybody that joined the class took something away from the class, so that was good too. Something that'll help them be more successful on the water. That's what we're here for. So, good class. We'll talk about it a little bit. We're going to talk about fishing a little bit too. So, hope you guys brought some questions with you tonight. That way I have something to answer. So if you guys have any questions for me, please, let's put those in the comments. I always like having those questions, being able to answer you guys' questions. Don't want anybody to leave here without getting their question answered, okay? Ashley Coffee, what's going on? From Norris Lake. Johnny Coots, hello, hello. William C, what's going on, William? Crappie Crushing TV, hello, hello. He said, what's up, Marine? What's going on? Hoorah. From Western PA again. Heidi Clark, hello. Nathan Wood, hello. From Wabash, Indiana. What's going on? So, yeah, guys, real quick, did not fish last weekend. I know. It's weird for me to say I did not fish last weekend, but I did not fish last weekend. It was a very busy weekend. Had a lot going on, trying to get the house and everything going, or keep it going. Oh, excuse me. 9 o'clock's catching up with me, guys. But yeah, so busy weekend last weekend. Spent all day Saturday over at the house, working on the house, trying to get the crawl space filled in with gravel, got pier footers dug and poured. That was a chore within itself. So I was at the property, at the house all weekend, or all day Saturday anyway. And then Sunday had the Crappie Academy. So was kind of tied up Sunday, couldn't get away Sunday either. Probably could have went Sunday morning, but it's just my luck. I'd get out there and something would go wrong and I wouldn't be able to make the academy. So I did not go. I did hear that there was a lot of fish being caught. They are back in a true summer pattern in East Tennessee, so they're out there on that deep structure. But there are a lot of fish to be caught, a lot of fish out there, and they are active. A lot of active fish out there right now. So that deep structure on the side of creek channels, side of river channels, those open water, those main lake flats, okay, guys? Especially first thing in the morning, early morning or late evening, those main lake flats, okay? And when I say a main lake flat, I'm talking like 15 to 20 foot flat on the main lake, something that has structure on it. So something with structure in that 15 to 20 foot range. Those fish will move up out of the creek channels, out of the river channels, late in the evening to feed. They'll feed at night, and they'll still be there first thing in the morning until the sun gets up, and they move back out into those deeper areas. So really good areas to find those fish late evening or early morning. Guys, summer is my favorite time to fish. I absolutely love summer fishing. Summer crappie fishing is my favorite. There's no doubt about it. I can wear shorts and Crocs. I don't freeze to death when I'm running down the lake, and I can catch 3 times as many fish in the summer. Most of the reason that is because there's not as many people fishing for them. you know, you can go out there and really, really, really load the boat down in the summer when there's not as much pressure. Okay. The water's warm. The fish are active. They're feeding. They'll bite just about anything you put in front of them. If somebody said, you know, if you could pick one season to guide in, what would it be? Mine would be summer, no doubt. I would guide all summer long. I'd take people out there and catch fish all summer long, having fun, catching limits, and I mean that'd be my choice if I could pick. So anyway. Very, very good time. Really, really, really enjoy it. And I'm looking forward to, you know, the weeks and months ahead. So that's for sure. All right. Let's see. What are you guys saying? Mike Gillespie. How much line do you let out when trolling the Arky crankbaits? Very good question. So when I pull Arkies, generally 2/3, the way I pull my Arkies, Mike. So let's just rig up. Let's go ahead. I use a inline weight. Okay. I use an inline weight to pull my Arkies. Let me go ahead. Let's just go ahead and rig one up and I'll show you guys how I do that. Okay. So this actually goes to your main line. So that swivel goes to your main line. We're not going to tie the main line right now. We'll just tie the leader from the weight. Okay. So we'll go from the weight leader to the crankbait. I'll show you guys how I tie that. All right. No loop knots here, guys. These are true fisherman knots. Everybody's seen one of these. Okay. You take it, you put your line through, put the line through the weight, the eye, come back, wrap it around. Uh-oh. If I can grab a hold of it. Wrap it around. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then go back through that loop at the eye. Go through the loop and then double back through the loop there that you created. Some guys call it a beehive knot. Some guys call it a fisherman's knot. Cinch it down tight. Okay. So that's the knot I use for crankbaits. And I'm not going to tie a real long leader so I can get it all on the screen. Generally, I have a 3-foot leader, Mike. Let me get a crankbait. I try to keep about a 3 to 4 foot leader. All right, there's the Arky crankbait. That's a 220, size 220. Let's get that tied on there. Same knot, guys. I do not tie loop knots on my crankbaits. They're just not strong enough. They just won't stand up to as much punishment. All right, same knot. Go around 1, 2, 3, 4. Through the loop and back through the loop. And there we go. Cinch that tight. All right, so there you have it. All right, so there's your crankbait. Let's see if I can get it all on screen. So there's your inline weight. There's your crankbait. Okay, so when using a 2 or 3 ounce inline weight, Mike, that crankbait is going to run 2/3. If you're running anywhere from 1.2 to 1.8 mile an hour, you're going to get just about 2/3 of your line depth, or your line length is going to be your depth. All right. So 2/3. So if you let out 12 feet of line, okay, if you let 12 feet of line out with this setup, all right, you're going to get about 8 feet depth. If you let out 15 feet of line, you're going to get about 10 foot of depth. 2/3 of your line length will be your depth. Does that make sense? Running anywhere from 1.2 to 1.8. That's generally what I run when I pull this rig. When I pull this crankbait setup right here, I generally run 1.2 to 1.8. I generally start in the middle of that. I run about 1.4, 1.5, and then I adjust from there accordingly. If I'm not getting bit and I feel like I need to speed up, I speed up. If I'm not getting bit and I feel like I need to slow down, I'll slow down. And then when I start getting bit, I notice what speed I'm running, and I try to hold that speed consistent. It's a lot easier with an Ultrex or a Tarova because you can set your speed on your remote control and it'll hold you at that speed. It's called cruise control, obviously, but that makes it a lot easier. And I do run cruise control when I'm pulling crankbaits, when I'm pulling anything. If I'm long lining, planer boarding, or running crankbaits, I use my cruise control. So anyway, that's how I set up right there. There's my owl. Those hooks are sharp. So there's my setup, okay? Pulling crankbaits. Got your crankbait, got your leader. Generally run about a 3 or 4 foot leader. Got your inline weight. And then I always want to make sure that I have a swivel on that inline weight, okay? If you buy weights that don't have a swivel, put your swivel on there because that'll keep your line from twisting, okay? And then my main line to the swivel, okay? So that's it. It's pretty simple. Ashley said, I really enjoyed the class, came away with more than I thought. You did a great job teaching. It was nice meeting some of the Wired fam there also. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate it, buddy. I'm glad that you were able to take something away from it. That's the purpose of the class, right? Is so that you guys take stuff away from it that helps you become a better fisherman. So I had a lot of good feedback from people from the class. I think everybody did take something away that is going to help them. So I haven't had anybody tell me that they knew everything we talked about yet. So that was good. And the next class is going to be, if you're interested in the Crappie Academy, it is at Crappie Cove. You can participate in that online if you so choose to, but the in-classroom experience is probably the best. I mean, it's just hard to get every single piece of everything online. It's a very good class online as well, but being in classroom is just it's just that much better because you can interact right there in classroom. If you have questions, you can and you can ask those online, but being in that classroom just gives that added level of teaching or being there and just being able to be hands-on, right? Anyway, I know what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to say it. So the next class is, let's see, I believe it's September 5th. Is that right? Dun, dun, dun. I think it's September the 5th. Let's go look. Let's go to crappiecove.com and just look real quick. I'm almost positive it's September. All right, the next Crappie Academy class is going to be September the 19th. So September the 19th is the next class. Looking forward to that. And we will release the topic for that probably in the next couple weeks. We're going to have a topic for that. We're going to be talking techniques. We're going to be talking techniques to catch crappie, not just live scope. We're going to be talking about crankbaits and slip floats and long lining and planer boards and spider rigging. And we're going to talk about all the different techniques, pitch and brush, vertical jigging, shooting docks, casting brush. We're going to talk about everything that you can do to catch these great fish that we all love so much. So it's going to be a really cool class. It's going to be a lot of fun. The exact title for it will come out here in the next week or two, but it's going to be on techniques. So the first class we taught about how to go find structure, how to break down new water to find the areas that you need to be in to catch fish. Then we talked about how to use your electronics to find structure and fish in those areas. And now we're going to talk about the techniques of once you find the fish, how to catch the fish. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about. It's going to be a good class. So if you're interested in that, go to crappiecove.com. You can register for the Crappie Academy classes on their website. Okay, so crappiecove.com, and you can register for the Crappie Academy. Don't forget, guys, discount codes right down here below me. Crappie Cove, 10% off with the wired discount. Okay, you can use that online, or you can call the store, or you can go in the store. If you walk in the store and you say, hey, I want to use the wired discount, they'll give you 10% off. Fishing Specialties, 10% off on all your Fishing Specialties products. That's your live scope poles. So check them out. And then stowawaymounts.com. That's a new one, guys. Stowaway Mounts, 10% off with wired at stowawaymounts.com. I'm loving the Stowaway mount. Update on that. Absolutely love it. It's just so much easier on my neck. I don't have the neck strain. It gets the unit up off the floor, but I can put the unit back on the floor. That's what I like about it. It is a collapsible unit, so I can pull the pin, lay it down. It's not sticking up on the front of the boat. It's not in my way when I'm driving. It's not sticking up out of the front of the boat when I'm driving down the road. Okay, getting beat by the wind and shaking and bouncing and everything from the wind being beating on it. It's just a very, very solid, good mount. So, and I can rotate it. So if I'm on one side of the boat fishing, I can rotate it where I can see it. If I'm on the other side of the boat, I can rotate it that way and see it. It's just a great mount. So check them out, stowawaymounts.com, and 10% off it wired there as well. Joel Nash, what's going on? Slab Buster, hello. William C. said, Matt, I missed what you told us to do to get line twist by doing a long cast or something like that. Can you recap, please? Yeah, absolutely. So over a course of a day, if you're fishing with a spinning reel, you're going to get line twist. There's just no way around it. I don't know anybody that says I don't ever get line twist. Now, they may look. It's going to happen. If you're fishing with a spinning reel and you're making casts, shooting docks, doing whatever it is you're doing, you're going to get line twist. That's just the nature of fishing, okay? There's not any magical cure for line twist that I know of, okay? The way I get rid of line twist a lot of times is if you make a long cast out behind the boat, especially if you're moving. So if you're going from one spot to another with your trolling motor and you got to go 50 or 60 yards or whatever, make a good long cast out behind the boat and just close your bail and hold your line. Let your line stretch out. Give it time to stretch a little bit. Give it time to kind of unwind and then crank it back on your reel nice and smooth. Now you need to make a good cast longer than you're casting during the day. So if you're shooting docks and you're shooting 30 or 40 feet under docks and you notice you're starting to get a lot of line twist, make you a good 70 or 80 foot cast out behind the boat, let some line out, get your line good and stretched out, and then put it back on that reel real slow, with some pressure on it. Keep some pressure on it and get it back on the reel. That will help you. That just kind of resets your spool. Okay. So by resetting your spool, it'll help with your line twist issues and it won't cause problems. Nobody likes when you're shooting docks and you're shooting docks all day long and 2 hours through your day, you shoot one, and this big bird's nest comes off your spinning reel because you've got so much line twist. It's just like, okay, I'm done. And it just kind of jumps off there on you and bird nests up. And you get this, I call it the spinning reel backlash. But, with a bait caster, you get backlash and it's a nightmare. Well, a spinning reel, you kind of get the same thing. It's a nightmare, but it's not necessarily backlash. It's kind of just where it jumps all off at one time and just kind of loops over itself. That's from line twist is what that causes, or what causes that. So anyway, that's how I take care of it. It's how I alleviate it, and it'll help you. Crappie Crushing TV says, oh yeah, I tear the flats up from sundown till I feel like leaving. Good advice. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah. Main Lake flats in the summer, that's where I live. I mean, I live out in the main lake. I love it. It's just so you can just be so productive. You can just catch so many fish in the summer. I shouldn't be telling you guys this because you guys are going to go summer fish now. I should probably leave it alone, just go keep fishing, catching fish. But no, I do. I absolutely love it. It's just it's so much fun when they come off the bank and they school back up and they get on brush. Oh man, you pull up on some piles and it's just loaded, and they're all sitting right up on top of it, just perfect, like a star on a Christmas tree. And then you can just sit there and whack them. It's just so much fun. So anyway, my favorite time of year by far. The Reef Robber says, hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on, Reef Robber? He said, only 8 likes. What? Why? Come on, guys. Smash that like button. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you for reminding everybody. Smash that like button for me, guys, if you like the content, you like what's going on with Wired for Crappie. Robert Love says, hello, all. What's going on, Robert? Addicted to hunting. He says, hey, everybody from Louisiana. Heidi asks, how is Laura? She's good. Thank you for asking, Heidi. Heidi asks every week. I appreciate it, Heidi. She's doing well. Jackie Jordan, hello. Enjoyed the class Sunday, Matt. Going to hit the like button and off to bed. All right, Jackie. Glad you like the class, and we'll talk at you later. Thank you for the like. Fishing with Camo Joe says, what's up, Matt? Been a while since I checked out a live, driving home from work, just listening. What's going on, man? Glad you're with us. Be safe on your drive. Jody Gazaway says, hey, Matt, what's up? What's up, Jody? Sid, yes, Sid says, Matt, did you get my package? Yes, I did, Sid, and it is in my boat. I need to bring it on a Wednesday night, but I will. I'll touch base with you. I have not gotten opportunity to put them to use, but I will. Okay. Jody says, I'm hearing Carbide Park is shut down. Have you or anybody heard? I haven't been there in a while myself, so I don't know. I hadn't either, Jody. That's not my first choice of lakes. Melton Hill's not my first choice. I can tell you that right now. But I don't know. I haven't heard that it was shut down. The park itself may be shut down. The boat ramp may still be open. I'm not sure. I haven't heard. Solomon Ott, Matt, what caused the single fish you cast to 25 to 35 feet away go to the bottom? You cannot get a bait to them. This happens not in one spot, but all over the lake. Let's see. Solomon, what's your question here? What causes the single fish you cast to 25 to 35 feet away to go to the bottom? You cannot get a bait to them. This happens not in one spot, but all over the lake. So I think what you're asking here, Solomon, is what causes when you see those fish at 25 or 30 feet and you cast to them, what causes them to go to the bottom of the lake, right? They spook. They spook. It has happened so many times. I can't count how many times it's happened. So they actually spook, and I hadn't really. Some days I think that the boat spooks them, the trolling motor spooks them. Some days I think they feel you coming in their lateral line. And then there's some days where I feel like the bait hitting the water actually spooks those fish. They feel it in their lateral line and they just turn and go to the bottom of the lake. They say, nope, something ain't right, gotta go. It's kind of like a big deer, right? You know, how does he know you're on the other side of the ridge if the wind's blowing 30 mile an hour and he can't see you or smell you? It's just they feel it. It's just they live there. You know, it's like if somebody was in your house, you'd know it because you live there. You know, it's your house. I think that it's a lot of the same way with fish. I mean, those fish feel you coming in their lateral line and they know it's not right, so they tuck tail and hit the bottom of the lake. That's their go-to That's their go-to response. Those open water fish, they don't have structure to hide in. So they have to suck down to the bottom of the lake, put their fins on mud. That's how they camouflage. So that's kind of their go-to, I'm out of here. And I've seen it a bunch. So it's just spooky fish. Josh says, got to run for the night, but I'll catch up tomorrow at work. Everyone have a good night. Good night, buddy. Jeff Lowe, say, Matt, do you have to order the stowaway mount online, or does Crappie Cove have those? Crappie Cove does not yet have them. They may have some at some point, but as of right now, Jeff, they do not have those. So, yes, you have to order it online. Crappie Kev, I saw you were on this month's Crappie Now online magazine. Yes, sir, I was. Crappie Now is a great magazine. If you guys have not heard of Crappie Now, or you guys have not seen their online magazine, it is really, really, really good stuff. This month is a little better than the other ones, because no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. No, they do have really, really good stuff, really good content in that magazine. I love reading it every month. I read online every month, Crappie Now. But yes, they did feature me in the magazine. Thank you for noticing that, Crappie Kev, and I appreciate you mentioning it. So it was an honor and a blessing to be in that magazine. I have been in that magazine before. I think this is the third or fourth time I've been in that magazine, but it is a blessing and an honor, and I appreciate them for doing it. They generally reach out to me if there's something that, kind of lines up with the way they're going on an article, and they ask me for help, or not necessarily help, but ask me if they can use some of my content. And it's like, sure, absolutely. I'd be honored. So great relationship with them, great magazine, and thank you for noticing. I appreciate it. Ashley says, I haven't been a summer fisherman, but I am going to this year till tourney time. In general, for our area, what depth will you try to target fish or target first thing at daybreak and for around 4 or 5 in the evening? I'm looking for those main lake flats, Ashley, like I talked about earlier. Something adjacent to the main creek channel or the river channel, something right there in that area. A main lake flat anywhere from 13 to 20 feet. I don't necessarily want a flat that's more than 20 feet. First thing in the morning or late in the afternoon. I will sometimes, if there's some structure that I know of that's real tall structure that's in 25 feet of water and comes up to 12 or something, I'll look at it. But for the most part, I'm trying to stay in that 12 to 20 feet of water on those flats adjacent to main creeks and the river channel. Thomas says he's here listening. What's going on, buddy? Slab Buster says jet flees and a lot of boat traffic shuts down the bite on Neely. It's like they know there's a lot of humans up there and they're crazy. Yeah. There's this whole thing about jet skis and pleasure boaters up here too, buddy. And, I'll tell you this, probably one of the best days that I can remember summer fishing. I fish out of a Ranger 690 VS, which you guys know, and it is extremely high-sided. Well, not extremely, but it's a high-sided boat. It's a deep V boat. So I take water better than most, and I was getting slap rocked one day. But I was sitting on a tree, and there was probably 150 crappie sitting on it, and they were all 1.5 pounders. They were just nice, quality, big, fat, healthy fish. And I sat there and caught, I don't know how many fish. I mean, I think I caught 30 or 40 just sitting there rocking. I mean, there was a wake boat going back and forth right beside me. And I mean, I was just getting absolutely rocked. Almost water in my boat, which is, would flood a bass boat any day. But yeah, it was absolutely incredible. And those fish did not care one bit. I'm talking 3 and 4 foot rollers, just continuous. And them fish didn't, I mean, I'd cast right out there in the middle of them rollers and the fish would whack it. I mean, it was incredible. So I don't necessarily put a whole lot in that whole pleasure boat run them off deal too much, but that was deeper water too. So I'm sure at Neely, you're probably fishing a little shallower than I am, right? And I know they will run them off docks. A lot of wake and stuff like that will run fish off docks. I've seen that before, but yeah, up here, you've kind of got to fish in it up here. There's so many boats and stuff, jet skis, and you guys have a lot of wake boats down there, Slab Buster? Because we do. We got a ton of wake boats. Chad says Amped Outdoors discount code. I do not actually have a discount code with Amped, but I do have the Crappie Cove discount code, and Crappie Cove sells Amped Outdoors batteries. So they are a distributor for Amped. So call Crappie Cove or get on their website, Chad. I don't know if they have any in stock right now. I think I heard them say something this past weekend that they may be out of stock right now. But anyway, give Crappie Cove a call and use that wired discount, and you can get 10% off your Amped Outdoor batteries through them, okay? Thomas says he's waiting on some better weather. Rain's been good for the garden, not as much for fishing, but it's a coming. So I'm guessing you're probably somewhere mid-south, Texas, Louisiana, Thomas. I don't think you told me, but probably somewhere down there because they're getting just hammered with rain. It's ridiculous. Where are you located at? We're supposed to get, so here in East Tennessee, the weather forecast, we're like 60% chance of rain every day for the next like 15 days. It's ridiculous too. Now it's not constant rain. It's just kind of on and off rain, which isn't too bad, but yeah, it's a lot of rain, a lot of nasty days. Oh, Pennsylvania, Butler, PA. So you guys getting a lot of rain up there too, huh? I know Texas has been slammed, just absolutely hammered with it. And I'd say Slab Buster's probably got a lot too. I don't know. Crappie Crushing TV said, "Yep, he's with me. Lots of laughs." That's cool. Let's see. Larry, what's going on, Larry? Larry made it, he said. Slabbuster said, I did that a couple weeks ago. Traffic everywhere. I was rocking and rolling and wore them out. It was pretty windy, too. I was in 27 feet of water, fish spinning 13 feet on a blowdown. Yep. So, those deeper fish, it doesn't really mess with them deeper fish much. Those deeper fish, guys. I mean, if you can stand in the boat to be in the boat and fish in those rollers, you can catch fish. I mean, it's not going to mess your fishing up. Thomas says here for sure. Love fishing. Lake Arthur, home lake. Recent rain, slowing fishing. Jumping at the bit. Slaver says, and yes, those dang mambas. They make a huge wake. They're so heavy. Yeah, so that's the thing is, those wake boats, they actually fill them with water. They actually fill the hole with water to sink them in the lake so that they can get a wave where they can surf. It's just, you want to go surfing, go to the ocean, and don't go to our lakes. We're trying to fish, Nathan Wood, thank you, Nathan, for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate it. Guys, if you do not know what a super chat is, right down below your comment section, there's a little dollar symbol. That is called a super chat. You click on that, they'll walk you through how to donate to the channel. It's donation, guys, to the channel. Helps keep me on the water, making great content for you guys to watch and enjoy. I appreciate it, Nathan. Thank you very much for your super chat, buddy. You are the man. So yeah, they like I was saying, they actually flood those boats to make those big waves, and it's just like, golly, really? Come on. I've hit a few in my day. I hit one on Watts Bar. I was out on Watts Bar one day, and there was one rolling down the main channel, and I had to go right by him, and I thought, well, I'll go around this side, and I went around I think it was the left-hand side of him, and what I did not realize, excuse me, guys, good night. What I did not realize is I went in between him and a bluff wall, and that wake was rolling over and hitting the bluff wall, rolling back across. And so I had two different wake channels that were coming. I had the wake from coming off the wall, and then I had the wake coming off his boat that were kind of merging together. And I didn't really catch it or pay that much attention to it. So I went down through there, and the first wake I hit, I mean, my boat I was going down through there, and I wasn't going wide open. I was probably at half throttle. So I was just on plane. And when I hit that first cross wake, the nose of my boat just lifted. It hit it and just lifted. And when it lifted, I knew I was in trouble, and I thought, oh, no. And I looked out in front of me, and there was such a gap in between me and the next wake that I knew I was coming back down. And I thought, oh, gosh, no. And I tried to actually throttle it to keep the nose in the air. But by that time, I was already coming back down the backside of his wake. And I was like, oh, gosh, this is going to be bad. And I came down, hit that next wake, just whoosh. And it soaked me, and I'm in a deep V. It soaked me. It soaked the boat. I thought, my gosh, it hurt. I mean, I got whiplash. It's bad. So I've hit a couple of them wrong, and they're not fun when you hit them wrong. That's for sure. Anyway, that's a funny story. It would have been funnier if you would have been there and seen it. It was pretty comical. All right, Slab Busters is 27 feet of water is deep here. Lots of laughs, and yes, it's flooded. Rain here since Sunday ruined the river. It's not the mud that gets me; it's the current. Yeah, current's tough. I mean, we talked about that. I don't know if it was the last live or the live before, but current can be tough, guys, and you just have to know how to fish current. Fishing current is a completely different animal. Heavier weights, you have to know what your bait's doing, right? You have to understand where you're going to pitch your bait to get it to where you want it to be. So if you want your bait here, you've got to pitch here so that the current pulls that bait as it sinks. It's pulling that bait down to the fish. It's just different. Current fishing is just different, and it can be done, and it can be great. It's just got to be done the right way. And there's a lot more thought process goes into current fishing than just open water, everyday fishing. So. Broderick says, what's happening? It's my first time on from Plano, Texas. What's going on, buddy? Glad you're with us. Glad you joined us for your first time on. Welcome to the Wired Live. Welcome to the Wired fam. And if you have any questions, drop me a question. I'd love to answer any questions that you have. Anything. Ask anything. Summer fishing right now, I'm sure. I don't know what the water temps are down in Texas right now, but Chris just got on. I see him, so he can probably answer that question, what the water temps are. You may be able to answer that question. Where do you fish at mostly, Broderick? What lake? Oh, I got to crack my back, guys. Golly, I'm getting old. Oh. Hmm. Sitting in this chair staring at this screen. I stare at a computer screen all day at work, most days. Ah. All right, let's see where we at. Larry says, enjoyed the class Sunday, wins the live scope portion. So yes, we are going to teach a live scope portion, Larry. It's going to be different. You know, the class Sunday was electronics 101. Didn't really want to get into, or fish finders 101. Didn't really want to get hung up on live scope. That was one thing that I did not want to do. I did not want to get hung up too much on live scope because not everybody can afford live scope technology yet. And, you know, wanted to be able to help those that don't have live scope be just as successful as those that do. So we will teach some live scope stuff. I will make it a point to spend some time on live scope at some point, but when, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe in the fourth class, Larry. We'll see. We'll see what that class holds. Crappie Crushing TV says, just wanted to tell you we lost the spawn here on Lake Arthur. Eggs absorbed for sure. The water temps would not come up. Then boom, it was up over 75 in a few days. On the flat bite now, though, 20 feet. So yeah, that's kind of how our spawn went too. To be honest with you, I mean, so we struggled to get spawning temperatures, and when we did, we didn't have them long. And I think there was some fish that did not spawn here as well. I think we had a decent spawn in East Tennessee. I think we just didn't have the spawn we could have or should have had the weather cooperated a little bit more. The temperatures just stayed cool. When they did warm up, the water temp, I think, got up to about 70-ish, and then it was there for a week and back down to like 62. So we struggled just like you guys did with getting the water temps consistent where we needed them. And then when we did get them there, they shot right up past 72. I mean, they went from 62 to 78 in a week. And it's just like, So, you know, we probably had a few fish that missed too. But there was some that spawned for sure. The 1 week that we did get good weather in that 66 to 72 degree water temp was a full moon week. So probably got a lot of fish that spawned that week. Probably had a decent spawn in East Tennessee, but could have been better for sure. Sleep says current sucks, especially when you get it in Texas. It can. You know, we're kind of accustomed to current up here. We don't necessarily always fish current up here, but we have current in a lot of our reservoirs. Our reservoirs are man-made. They're obviously controlled by TVA, which is Tennessee Valley Authority, who controls our dams. And a lot of times, whether if they're spilling or generating electricity, then we get current. So we get to experience fishing current about, half the time. So Tom A., thank you, Tom, for the super chat. I appreciate it, buddy, very much. Thank you. It's a blessing to me and this channel. So thank you for that. Tom says from PA, live in PA also, 2-day tournament I'm not even going to try that lake this week. Looks like finally no rain. Just have to see where the fish are now. So if you're getting a lot of rain and the lake is up, I'm going to say look shallow. Do not ignore shallow stuff, Tom. When fish follow the water. When the water goes up, fish move up. If the water's muddy, those fish are going to go shallow. Remember that. If you get stained or any kind of colored water, those fish are going to go shallower because the light doesn't penetrate as much in dingy, dirty water. So they're going to move up so that they can see to feed. So go shallow, and don't be afraid to go shallow. If the light's not penetrating the water as much, it's going to stay cooler. So you may be able to find some good oxygenated, cooler water up shallow, and there could be fish there. So I don't know a whole lot about that lake. I don't know what the banks look like as far as are they sheer banks? Are they steep banks? Gradual banks? Is there structure on them? And do you have grass? I don't know a lot of things about that lake, but don't be afraid to go shallow. And good luck in your tournament. Let us know how you do next week. Todd says, so when fishing flats in summer, do you ever snipe them or just fish structure and pull crankbaits? I'm pulling crankbaits and fishing structure. First thing in the morning is when I like to pull crankbaits. I love pulling crankbaits first. As soon as that sun comes up, I love hitting crankbaits because there are suspended fish. Can you snipe them? Absolutely. No doubt. 100%. Do I snipe them? No. I'm fishing open water. I'm catching open water fish with crankbaits early on, and then once the sun starts getting up and those fish pull to structure, because that sun is going to push those fish to structure. They're going to look for shade. They're going to pull to structure. I'm going to structure after I pull crankbaits. Slabbuster says 6 dams on the Coosa River, a lot of moving water after flooding rains. Yeah, there is here too, a lot. Ashley says, I was talking with someone about this today. Do you think jig heads with eyes like the BX jig head can help the bite at times or no? I'm going to say no. I don't think so. The eye, do I think the eye makes a difference? No, I don't necessarily think the eye makes a difference. I think if the eye is a different color, it makes a difference. Ashley, you know my motto. I've said it 100 times. I'm not a big believer in color. I'm more of a believer in contrast. Contrasting colors for your water conditions is kind of what I'm a believer in over color. There's not a whole lot of chartreuse minnows swimming around. So there are some because they're dyed and put in the lake. No, I don't necessarily think the eye itself is going to make a difference. I think if the eye, like I said, is a different color, then it could. You got a chartreuse jig head with a white eye or a red eye or a orange eye or whatever. I don't know what all colors your eyes are. Black eye, silver eye. It's just an added contrast. It's just another color. So I don't necessarily think that the eye itself is going to make that big of a deal. I think it's the additional color. Broderick says Lake Fork or Lavon. Oh, okay. All right. You're down there in Bonehead territory then. Lavon, let's see. That's Tommy Ezel territory too, right? Doesn't he fish Lavon a lot? I don't know if you know of him or not, but those are great lakes. Fork obviously is a mecca. I can't wait to get to Fork, which I am going to. I keep saying I'm going to, but I am going to make some trips, and Fork is on that list. So Fork is a mecca. Lavon has got great fish in it too. I'd say right now they're definitely summer pattern on those two lakes. I mean, you guys are warmer than we are more most of the time. But yeah, they're the big fish lakes without a doubt. So congratulations that you get to fish those lakes. all the time. I'm jealous, but he said it's really high. I've heard all the lakes down there are. Palestine's high, Fork's high, Lavon's high, Lake the Pines is high. I've heard all of them are high down there. You guys have been plagued with rain too. So a lot of rain right now, a lot of high water, a lot of rain. Look for those fish shallow. Crappie Crushing TV said, we had the worst I've seen in 30 years. Wow. What's y'all's crappie population look like up there in Pennsylvania? I mean, are you guys pretty high population? Are you kind of like some of the other northern states, high population, but not necessarily a high population of larger fish? I know a lot of the northern lakes have a high population of crappie, but not necessarily big crappie. Are you guys kind of like that too? Or, I mean, a missed spawn, if that's the case, a missed spawn may help you guys a little bit. You may see a larger age class of fish show up if you have, give the bait fish a break and not have as many fish in the lake. So it may actually help you guys out on size a little bit. I don't know. Fred says, hey, Matt, when's the best fall fishing on Watts Bar Lake? October, no doubt. October, November. October, November on Watts Bar is great. It's great fishing, without a doubt. So middle of October to middle of November is going to be when it would be my best fall fishing time on Watts Bar. It would be that month, middle of October to middle of November. Jamie Nelson, since Kentucky Lake is nowhere near as clear as the East Tennessee lakes, is it likely your 20-foot flats would be more shallow flats, 12 to 15? Could be. But Jamie, also in the summer, being that Kentucky Lake is dingier, it's probably going to be a little warmer too. Okay. So I would say you're probably going to hold true to that 20-foot flat would be my guess. I know Kentucky and Barkley fish a lot like our lakes do. I would probably stick to that 20-foot flat if it were me, and somewhere close to the main river. Sid says, I've been tying jigs for many years and I do not put eyes on a jig. Costly and time consuming. I catch a lot of fish on the jigs. Yeah, I mean, it's an added step for those that tie jigs. I've tied some of my own, which you guys know. I mean, I showed some of my fly tying stuff. I think it was last week or the week before. Anyway, I used to tie some. I don't have time for it anymore. I've got so much going on. I just don't have time to sit down and tie. I never put eyes on mine. I messed with a paint pen years ago, just dabbing a paint pen, putting a paint eye on them, but I didn't really notice a difference. So I didn't. Crappie Crushing TV said, plenty of slabos in my lakes. Yeah, I've heard that there is. You've got a high population up there, that's for sure. I just didn't know what your big fish looked like. Larry says, ever fish Weiss Lake in Alabama? Go in there for a few days in August. So I can tell you this, docks and creek channels. Find you some of those creek channels. And creek channels in Weiss are not necessarily like they are up here. You're not going to get a very, very, very defined, drop off creek channel. You're going to get just kind of a dip or a swell. You get those dips, those swells in Weiss, and those fish will stack up. I mean, we're talking like a foot difference, maybe two, just kind of a depression or trough that just kind of runs the meanders down through there. But that's a lot of times where those fish like to be. So. Seth Green says, enjoyed the Crappie Academy class for Sunday. What's the topic for the next class? Thanks. So the next class we're going to do, Seth, is going to be techniques for crappie. That's not necessarily the title I'm going to land on, but it's going to be all the different techniques: pulling crankbaits, planer boards, slip floatings, drop shotting, casting, vertical jigging, everything. We're going to go over it all. Long line trolling, pushing. We're going to go over everything. So we're going to go over all the different techniques. I'll show you guys how I do them, and how to catch fish, right? So we taught everybody how to locate them, how to locate structure. We taught them how to find that structure and fish on their electronics, and now we're going to teach them how to catch them. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Larry says, you sure about that? Slab Buster town motto is Crappie USA. That's funny. Yeah. Guys, look, let me just say something real quick about lakes and tournaments, okay? Some of the lakes that they fish tournaments on are without a doubt some of the best lakes in the country. Grenada, some of the weights that came out of Grenada last time were ridiculous. But look, there's so many great crappie lakes that never see a tournament trail. Okay. They never, ever, ever see tournament fishermen on a regular basis. Maybe local clubs or things of that nature, but those big tournament trails, guys, go where the money's at. Okay. They go to the areas and the lakes and the locales that will support their tournament and their trail. And don't too much get hung up on. I say this because I don't want you guys to see something, and Larry's talking about Crappie USA, and I'm not singling out Crappie USA by any means. And I probably put my foot in my mouth right now, but some of these tournament trails, I don't want you guys to get hung up on having to go to those lakes to fish tournament or to fish crappie or to catch big crappie, because there's a lot of lakes, like I said, that they never see, like High Rock. I mean, there's no big tournament trails that go to High Rock, but I'm telling you, I mean, I've been there. I've caught 250 fish in a day. And some of the best crappie lakes in America are just overlooked by tournament trails because, first of all, they're on the outskirts, and second of all, they're not in big cities. They're not around anywhere that, is going to put up the money for those kind of events to come in. So don't get too hung up on having to go fish where the tournament trails do, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right, guys, it looks like we've hit that hour mark. I'm going to call it an evening for this evening. I know it gets late for a lot of guys on here. 9 o'clock is a hard start. Well, I've talked about that before. We are trying to cut down, and we made it a habit of being on here for 2 hours every night. And I'd get up the next morning and go to work, and I'd be dead on a doornail. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you, everybody that participated in the Crappie Academy last week. It was a blast. Thank you all for being here tonight. I couldn't do this without everybody on here. So thank y'all very much. I appreciate it. Let's see. What else? Are we forgetting anything before I go? I don't think so. I think everything's good. Next week, same time, same place. We'll be here. I think everybody will like next week. We got some good stuff. Got a good topic next week. We're going to do a little teaching next week. So I think it'll be good. We'll see you guys next week for that. Watch out for the video this week. I'm going fishing this weekend, one way or another. Come heck or high water, I'm going to be on the water. Even if there is high water, I'm going. But that's it. I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for joining me again. As always, guys, God bless. Hope y'all have a good week, and we will see you here next week, 9 o'clock Wednesday night. We'll talk to you later.